Hey guys, hey, thanks for joining us for Student Group Online. I'm glad you could be here. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. Hopefully you subscribe here, like it, subscribe it, check out some of the videos. We got Cody TV, some other stuff that we do here at Student Group. Check them out. Guys, thanks for being here tonight. We're going to finish out our series, Vitals, with week 3 tonight, and Joe's also going to lead us in some worship. So enjoy that. Guys, thanks for checking this out, and we hope that you enjoy Student Group Online.
Speak to me when the silence steers my voice. You understand me. You understand me. Come last spoken word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Holy, overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm about to leave the 99, and I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Holy, overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. I felt no worth, you made it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Holy, overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm about to leave the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Holy, overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall
guys. Hey, welcome back to Student Group Online. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We're excited that you could be checking this out, and I hope tonight's message is encouraging to you as we continue to gather together as a church family in the middle of this crazy season. So tonight we're actually in week 3 of our series Vitals, and what we've been talking about is that health is about more than just being strong. It's about more than just being well. It's about more than physical health. Okay, week 1 we talked about the fact that vitals, that being healthy is about a spiritual health. Last week we talked about the fact that it is about an emotional health. And tonight what we're going to talk about is that being healthy is about having a good relational health. Okay, now you may be wondering, like, what does that mean? Okay, what we're going to talk about is the people that you surround yourself with, your friends, your dating relationships, how you treat others all around you. Okay, and we're going to jump right into that. Okay, so why is relational health important? Why are we going to talk about it? Why does it even matter? Because first big truth that I want you to understand in this whole thing tonight, I want you to understand this: relational health affects your personal health. Your relational health affects your personal health. Okay? I want to jump to a scripture real quick that I think is going to be important today, that I believe matters in this discussion of relational health and the people we surround ourselves with. Okay? This is Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. In this passage, it's really short, but it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend." Okay, in other translations, it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Okay, so what that means is that the people around you, okay, the people that you put around you, are going to impact your life. They're going to impact how you see the world, how you live life, the decisions you make, and just the kind of person that you decide to be. The people you have in your life are going to impact that. And I can attest to that, okay? Having went through middle school and high school and college, I can look back and see the friendships and the relationships that I had that were great for me, that encouraged me in good ways and built me up. And I can also look back and see friendships and relationships that were bad and unhealthy and led me in directions that I didn't want to pursue, okay? So what I want to talk about tonight is the fact that you want to be healthy, okay? And I want you to be healthy. We at Student Group, we want you to be healthy individuals. We want you to champion these years in middle school and high school and be strong. And on the other side of it, after you walk out of your high school for the last time, that you are a healthy individual, that you've made good choices, you've set good habits, and that you're well. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about relationships, we're going to talk about friendships, we're going to talk about dating, we're going to talk a little bit about both those things. We're going to keep it brief, but jump to important things that you guys can impact, or you guys can input into your life today that impact your relationships, okay? Okay, the first thing is this. I just want to ask this question: what is the driving force behind your relationships? Okay, don't just think dating. Okay, I want to keep it straight there. Okay, don't just think dating. Okay, think your friendships as well. What's the driving force behind your friendships? Okay, just think about it. Think about your best friendships. Okay, maybe it's softball, maybe it's volleyball, maybe it's the fact that you're both in choir or band. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that you both went to the same school, or you live in the same neighborhood. There's a lot of reasons behind the driving force of our friendships. I remember when I was growing up, my best friendships centered around the fact that we would go on bike rides together. It was what we loved to do as kids, and my best friends, our thing was that we rode bikes together. Okay, now my best friendships they're not centered on that, okay? I do have some friends that we would love to go out and ride bikes together, but that's not the center of our friendship. That's not the basis of our friendship. I don't know what you said the basis of your friendships were, or your dating relationships. I want you to consider that too. What is the reason that you have pursued dating relationships? That you have pursued a boy or a girl, that you have pursued a relationship in the dating realm? What's the driving force behind that? I'm just curious. I want you to think about that as we continue this discussion to where we're about to go, okay? For us, that at student group that we believe and we want you to be healthy and have healthy relationships, okay, we want you to understand this truth, that we believe that Jesus has to be the root of our relationships. Okay, now remember I said that I have friendships now that we like to go and ride bikes together and do, things. We like to go out and watch movies and all this. Okay, not right now, obviously, because nobody's going out to do anything right now, okay? But I have friendships where we like to do similar things, whether it's play soccer or ride bikes or watch movies or whatever, okay? But at the center of those relationships is something different. I can look back on those. I can look at those friendships and say, man, like, those relationships and those friendships are built on the fact that we both pursue Jesus, and we both care for each other and love each other as friends, because we both know we all know the love of Jesus. Okay, I want you to understand, at the center of your friendships, if you put Jesus at the center of your friendships, it's going to be healthy. It's going to grow. It's going to be strong. Okay? Because when you put Jesus at the center of a relationship, at the center of a friendship, out of that comes good things. It comes care. It comes love. It comes forgiveness. It comes all these things. Encouragement. Okay? And it comes all these things that build healthy relationships, flow out of relationships and friendships where Jesus is the center. Okay? Now, let's just be honest. You can put unhealthy things at the center of your friendships and your relationships, right? Okay, maybe you have friendships where the root of your friendship is the fact that you sit at your lunch table and you make fun of other kids in the cafeteria. It's not a very healthy root, right? It's not a very good basis for a friendship. Maybe in your dating relationship, it's just the fact the basis of your friendship or your relationship has been that they compliment you and they tell you you're cute, right? Maybe for some of our students in high schools and middle schools, I know that every time I walk into a school, that there are dating relationships that are built on poor foundations. There are dating relationships that are built on sinful behavior. And poor foundations and roots for friendships and relationships fail. They fail. That's why at the center of healthy relationships and good friendships is Jesus. Jesus is the strongest foundation that we can have for good relationships and good friendships. Okay? So I want you to think about your best relationships, your best friends, your dating relationships. What is the foundation of those things? Okay? If it's not Jesus, that either needs to change or that relationship needs to end. Okay? After that, I want you to understand this. Okay, I want you to ask yourself this question. We're going to kind of question the friendships and the relationships we have so that we can figure out how to have healthy, good ones. Okay? That second question I want you to answer yourself is this. Who are you surrounding yourself with? No, really, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about your friends, the people in your life, the relationships you have. And I want you to think about those. Just kind of check them off in your mind or write them down literally on a piece of paper, okay? I want you to think about those. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Would you say that the people on that piece of paper or in your mind are good friendships and good relationships? Would you say that? If you were really honest, would we all say, yeah, I've got a lot of healthy, good relationships? I know that if most of us were really honest, we'd say, yeah, I might have some healthy relationships. I might have some healthy friendships. But we'd say, I've got a number of friendships and relationships that aren't healthy. If we're really honest, and I can say that because like I said, I can look back to my middle school and high school years and remember that I didn't always have a bunch of healthy, good friendships and relationships. Okay, and there's no shame in that. If that's you and you're saying, man, I don't think I have one healthy friendship or relationship, I want you to be encouraged, okay? Because you can change that in your life. And it'll lead to good things in your life, okay? We're going to kind of break down just that question here as we continue this conversation. Okay, The third thing I want you to understand tonight is this. You have to surround yourself with good relationships. Okay, how do you have good relationships? Well, you surround yourself with good people. Okay, you surround yourself with good relationships. Let's jump to a scripture in the Old Testament that is a picture of a friendship that we see in the Bible. Okay, this is 1 Samuel chapter 18, verses 1 through 4. It says, "By the time David had finished reporting to Saul, Jonathan was deeply impressed with David. An immediate bond was forged between them. He became totally committed to David. From that point on, he would be David's number one advocate and friend. Saul received David into his own household that day, no more to return home to his father. Jonathan, out of deep love for David, made a covenant, a promise, with him. He formalized it with the solemn gifts, his own royal robe and weapons, armor, sword, bow, and belt." Okay, so now you might have heard those scriptures that I just read, and been like, who the heck are these people? You have no idea. Okay, I understand. All right, hey, this is the story of a guy named Jonathan and a guy named David. Now, you might be familiar with the guy David, okay? David was a guy that you know for taking down a giant. He was the boy who went to meet his brothers on the front lines of battle for the people of Israel. And he took these stones and took down a giant named Goliath. Okay, you might remember him. Okay, if not, check that out. That's in 1 Samuel. Okay, but David became very important in the people, or in the nation of Israel. He used to be this shepherd boy. Okay, just this kid, the youngest son, who was out in the fields tending sheep. But he gets this incredible military victory, taking down Goliath and cutting his head off. Okay, it's in the story. And then he becomes important to the king, and Saul, the king, actually welcomes him into his home. All right, and Saul has a son, the king has a son named Jonathan. Now, when Jonathan sees David and meets him for the first time, they immediately hit it off. Now, I want you to remember the friendship that you have where things immediately just were wonderful, where you had a great friendship off the top, right? I can remember some friendships where I just hit it off with somebody, okay? And things just, we just got each other. We understood each other. We're good friends, all right? That's what kind of David and Jonathan are, okay? They're these incredible friends whose friendship is wonderful. They look out for each other. That's what happens as soon as David is welcomed in to the king's household. Jonathan says, well, if you're going to be in the king's household, you're going to need these things, and I want to give you mine, okay? He says, you're going to need this armor if you're going to be a part of the king's household. So Jonathan says, I want to give you my armor, okay? Because he sees his friend and wants to care for his friend and make sure that he is all right, okay? What a good friend does. Okay. I'm curious, like, do you have friendships like that where your friends look out for you? Where they see that, maybe you need some help and they help take care of you. Have you ever had a friend like that? Maybe it's when you go to school and you just had a really rough day, right? And that friend sees that and reaches out to you and says, "Hey, I just wanted to look out for you. I just wanted to see how you're doing. Hey, how can I be there for you right now?" Listen to this scripture from the New Testament. This is from the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 11. This is Paul writing. This is the guy named Paul. He's writing and he's encouraging these other believers, these other followers of Jesus, on how to live together as a circle of people, as a community, as a family, as friends, okay? And this is what he says in verse 11. He says, "So encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing." Man, I wonder if your friendships are filled with encouragement. I wonder if your friendships are filled with people who build you up, who see good things inside of you and help to water those things, to encourage those things so that they grow and so that you become strong. Okay? So just like, we have to put good relationships around us. We have to have good friendships and good relationships and pursue those things. Okay? But on the flip side of that, you and I, to have healthy relational health, we have to cut out unhealthy relationships. Yeah. I said something really hard right there. something really difficult for some of you watching this video. Okay, and I understand that. I want to read this scripture to you. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. This is Paul writing in this letter to these other believers in a city called Corinth. And this is what he says in verse 33. He says, "Don't be fooled by those who say such things, because bad company corrupts good character." Okay, and in verse 34 he says, "Think carefully about what is right and stop sinning. For your shame, I say that some of you don't know God at all." Okay, so he's writing to these believers, these followers of Jesus in this city called Corinth. And he sees that they're being influenced by these people who aren't following God. And because these people in Corinth are surrounding themselves with people who don't follow God, they're beginning to do the things that those people do. Okay? I don't know about you guys. If you've ever imitated the behavior or something that your friends do, right? Okay, so my wife Allie and I, whenever we're in the car, she has this thing where the radio can only be on a multiple of 5. It has to be on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, something like that. It has to be on a 5 or a 0, okay? It has to be, okay? So even now, when she's not in the car and I'm driving and I'm listening to the radio, I always put it on a 5 or a 0 because her behavior has impacted me, and I imitate that now. So for you, if you have unhealthy relationships around you, unhealthy friendships in your life, they're going to impact you. They're going to impact you. You may think that you can resist that, but the reality is the people we surround ourselves with influence us, and we begin to resemble them. Okay? That's just the truth. That's just the reality. Okay? So if you want to be healthy and you want to build up good things in you, maybe that means you have to cut out unhealthy friendships today. Maybe that means you have to end an unhealthy dating relationship because it's not leading you to where you need to be. It's not making you feel encouraged. What do unhealthy relationships look like? They have a poor foundation. They're not built on Jesus. They don't encourage you. They don't give you life. If you had to answer that question, if you had to review or evaluate a relationship or a friendship, ask that question: does this relationship bring life? Does it build me up? Okay? And I promise you, just to a dating conversation, if you have to hide Instagram messages or a Discord message conversation, that's not a life-giving relationship. That's not a healthy relationship. We have to eliminate unhealthy friendships and relationships in our lives so that we can be healthy. Because when we don't, that impacts our personal health. It impacts your life. Well, my hope for you and my desire for you, my prayer for you is that you pursue healthy relationships, good dating relationships and friendships, relationships that are built on Jesus. And that is why this place exists. So I pray that you use this place to build good relationships and connect with others who are going to build you up and point you to Jesus. Guys, thanks for being here tonight.